Shalom, here's a thought for the week. You know how a lot of the basic things, basic rules of decency are self-understood. Technically, to not steal from another human and to not murder, to honor your father and mother, to give charity. These are all basic ideas. So who needs God for all of this? Why can't we just be good people? And what's the whole idea of having God? And one of the basic ideas of this week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, these are the rational laws. And there's a point of saying that these laws were given by God at Mount Sinai. And as a Jew or a righteous Gentile, keeping these basic laws cannot be relegated just to human intellect. They have to be based on a higher power. We have to be answerable to God who gave us these laws. Anyone that thinks otherwise, just to go back 70 years to the Holocaust and look at all these PhDs, cultured people that murdered 1.5 million children and 6 million Jews and many, many others, and came home to their families. Morality and goodness has to be based on something greater than yourself, on God. And that's the basic foundation of the Torah, to follow the Torah as a Jew, or to be a righteous Gentile and to follow the 7 Noahide laws. It's must be based on something beyond yourself. Because if you decide the rules, you make them, you change them when it's comfortable for yourself. This is the foundation. Another idea is very important to remember. We might look at the world and think to ourselves, we live in a very chaotic time and difficult time, lots of things going wild. But take a step back and you'll realize that it's still the safest and it's still the most tolerant world that the world has ever seen. And we know that. We remember the Holocaust, we remember communism, and we live in a time here that the average person in most places can practice their religion with freedom. And this is biblical prophecies going on, where even many years ago, the United States and world powers announced, and Russia even, that they're going to minimize the amount they're using for the military and maximize the amount and using some of that money for agricultural and feeding people, which is a reminder of the biblical prophecy of beating their swords into plowshares. And this is a very powerful idea that we live in very special times, and we should be very, very happy and look at the world from the lens of this idea that we live in a blessed time right before the coming of Mashiach. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbos. We should have Mashiach now. Amen.